Hey, let me belt buckle, boy. A little souvenir that reminds me of you.
What are you gonna do about it?
You mean 6 weeks in the hole? And your appetite?
Son of a bitch. It ain't over.
Remember what I told you, Frank. Roll with the system.
We got something else in common.
No, what's that?
Both getting out soon. You in a few weeks. Me, I'm gone day after tomorrow. I'm just lucky, I guess. I got a job lined up when I get out. It's just temporary, you know.
What do you gotta do?
I just gotta rape this bitch. I get an extra 100 every time she screams.
I'll tell you that!
She says hello.
I'll kill you!
Payback time, Frank.
You touching your dead! Hey, man, I'm dark! God, somebody!
Okay, tough guy. Open your mouth. Huh? Roll your tongue around. You trying to kiss me?
What are you looking at, asshole?
It's not my type.
Rape this.
Greetings and welcome to USA Fight Recaps. Our narrative begins with Frank Leone, a skilled mechanic working in a modest garage in New Jersey. Frank takes great pleasure in repairing cars and assisting customers. One day, a woman approaches him seeking urgent repairs for her vehicle, expressing the need for a knowledgeable mechanic.
I have to get it fixed right away.
Maybe I better.
Only for it to be revealed that she is his girlfriend, Melissa. Their relationship is warm and affectionate, and after work, they enjoy each other's company like any typical couple. Later, Frank is depicted playing football in a park with local children, while Melissa watches him with a smile. After the game, Melissa drives him to Norwood Prison, where he is currently incarcerated. Despite his status as an inmate, Frank has earned the respect of both the guards and his fellow inmates due to his exemplary behavior and positive outlook. He is regarded as a model prisoner and is granted occasional furloughs, which allow him to work at the garage and spend brief moments outside the prison. With only 6 months left on his sentence, it appears that Frank's time in prison will conclude peacefully. However, one night, everything changes abruptly. A group of aggressive guards bursts into the prison and forcibly removes Frank from his cell without explanation.
Step back, officer. Prisoner is in our custody now.
He is handcuffed and placed into a transport van, informed that he is being transferred to another facility. Confused and frustrated, Frank protests the lack of notice regarding his transfer, but the guards coldly inform him that this is standard procedure. The van ultimately delivers him to Gateway Prison, a notorious maximum security institution. Awaiting him there is Warden Drum Goal. Upon seeing the warden, Frank immediately understands the reason for his transfer. Drum Goal greets him with a sense of satisfaction, clearly relishing Frank's shock. This transfer has been orchestrated purely out of revenge. Frank's imprisonment stems from an earlier incident at Treadmore Prison. Years prior, he had briefly escaped to visit his dying mentor. At that time, Warden Drum Goal had denied Frank even a single hour to see the man who had nurtured and guided him throughout his life. In a state of desperation and anger, Frank temporarily escaped to visit his dying mentor before returning voluntarily to prison, where he subsequently exposed the inhumane conditions faced by inmates under Warden Drum Goal's administration to the media. While the public lauded Frank for his courageous stance against abuse, the scandal tarnished Warden Drum Goal's previously unblemished reputation, ultimately leading to his demotion and reassignment to Gateway Prison. Drum Goal attributes the collapse of his career solely to Frank and is determined to make him suffer, insisting that Frank's escape brought him humiliation and cost him everything.
Making a criminal into a hero, and a warden into a criminal. The media.
In response, Frank asserts that Drumgoole is responsible for his own downfall by denying a dying man a final visit from someone who cared for him deeply. The meeting concludes coldly with Drumgoole vowing that Frank's suffering is only beginning. Following this, guards take Frank for delousing and subject him to a chamber purportedly filled with toxic gas, where inmates must hold their breath to survive. As Frank endures this ordeal, Drumgoole maliciously extends the exposure time, forcing him to struggle for air. The next day, Frank enters the prison yard and begins to meet the other inmates at Gateway, including Chink Weber, a violent bully who serves as an enforcer for the warden.
Not so fast, Ace. Put a fucking hole in your heart.
Chink attempts to intimidate Frank by brandishing a concealed knife, but Captain Meissner intervenes and demands the weapon. When the knife is not found, Meissner questions Frank, who declines to cooperate in order to avoid trouble.
What you cover for him for?
Later, Frank is approached by Dallas, an inmate who recognizes him from his previous prison. Dallas expresses admiration for Frank and believes that someone with his skills could easily orchestrate an escape from Gateway. He tries to persuade Frank to assist in planning a breakout, but Frank declines, preferring to avoid involvement in another escape attempt with only a short time left on his sentence. Dallas then introduces Frank to Eclipse, a mechanic who oversees the prison garage. While Dallas argues that Frank's mechanical expertise would be an asset there, Eclipse is wary of newcomers and instructs them to leave.
You didn't want this job anyway, man.
Meanwhile, Melissa arrives at Gateway hoping to visit Frank but is denied access by the guards, who claim he is currently in the general population. Frank continues to perform menial tasks within the prison until Dallas approaches him again with an escape plan based on stolen blueprints. Dallas proposes that they could escape by crawling through a network of pipes leading to the roof. However, Frank quickly points out that the pipe Dallas intends to use is dangerously hot, rendering the plan unfeasible. During lunch, Frank observes a timid young inmate sitting alone and extends an invitation for him to join his table alongside Dallas. The young prisoner, nicknamed First Base, initially shows reluctance to engage with them. Suddenly, chaos erupts as another inmate stabs someone in the cafeteria and casually walks away, starkly illustrating the brutal environment of Gateway. Frank advises First Base that survival in this setting necessitates unity. Later, while in the yard, Frank and First Base are challenged to a football game by Jenk and his associates. The match escalates into violence as Jenk's gang targets Frank. Noticing that Frank is outnumbered, Eclipse unexpectedly joins the game to support him. Together, they manage to secure a victory, but a fight ensues, prompting guards to intervene swiftly. Impressed by Frank's resilience and integrity, Eclipse ultimately invites him to work in the prison garage.
It's quitting time.
Inside the garage, Frank discovers an old Ford Mustang that has fallen into disrepair. He eagerly offers to restore the vehicle, and Eclipse consents. Frank dedicates himself to the project, showcasing impressive mechanical skills. Dallas, First Base, and Eclipse join him, and together they gradually transform the dilapidated car into a stunning vehicle. One day, Frank reluctantly permits First Base to start the engine. In his excitement, the young inmate accidentally drives the Mustang out of the garage and into the prison yard, losing control in the process. Guards quickly intervene to stop him, but Drumgoole seizes the opportunity to punish Frank.
You're the wrong man. Take Leone to the hole. Back off. 6 weeks. Want to break up this car.
In an effort to break his spirit, the warden forces Frank and his friends to witness as other inmates destroy the Mustang they had worked so hard to restore. Following this incident, Frank is placed in solitary confinement, where he endures brutal beatings and torture for 6 weeks. Eventually, Captain Meissner uncovers the abuse and orders it to cease immediately. He releases Frank and personally escorts him back to his cell. Meissner discreetly provides Frank with a stack of letters from Melissa that the warden had intentionally withheld. Upon reuniting with his friends in the garage, they express their fury over what he has endured. Frank reassures them, reminding them that his release is imminent. He believes he can withstand whatever challenges Drumbull may impose for just a few more weeks. But Drumbull has no intention of letting Frank leave quietly. Determined to provoke him into committing another crime, the warden secretly orders Chink to murder first base in the prison gym.
Come on, one by one, come on!
Chink and his gang corners first base in the gym and kills him using a barbell. When Frank learns about the brutal killing of his friend, he becomes devastated. Enraged, he attacks Chink in the compound. However, Frank stops short of killing him, realizing that committing murder would give Drumbull exactly what he wants. Before Frank can walk away, one of Chink's associates stabs him in the back with a shank. Frank is later taken to the prison infirmary where he slowly recovers. Melissa is finally allowed to visit him.
30 minutes. Need any help?
Look great.
But Drumbull cruelly cuts their visit short after only a few minutes.
Changed his mind.
While Frank is still recovering, another inmate approaches him claiming that he has been hired to rape and murder Melissa as soon as he is released. The man even shows Frank a photograph of her, sending Frank into a desperate rage. Frank tries to call Melissa to warn her but is denied permission to use the phone. Believing Melissa is in immediate danger, Frank finally agrees to escape. He goes to Dallas and asks for help. Dallas hesitates, reminding him that only a few days remain on his sentence, but Frank insists he cannot risk Melissa's life. That night the two overpower a guard and flee through the prison corridors. They crawl through narrow passages and reach a junction where they must choose a direction. Frank wants to go one way, but Dallas insists they take another route, and confident it will lead them flee the facility. Unfortunately, Dallas leads Frank directly into an ambush where Drumbull and his guards are waiting. The warden gleefully reveals the truth. The supposed threat against Melissa was entirely fabricated to trick Frank into attempting another escape. With this second escape attempt, Drumbull plans to add 10 more years to Frank's sentence. Dallas demands the reward Drumbull promised him, early release, but the warden coldly refuses, ordering the guards to beat both prisoners instead.
Not my type.
Great dish.
Dallas sacrifices himself by throwing an electrical wire into a pool of water where he and a guard are standing, electrocuting them both and allowing Frank to escape. Frank manages to break free and run through the prison. The guards are under the impression that Frank is attempting to escape the facility, however, he actually sneaks back inside to confront Drumbull in the execution chamber. There, he secures the terrified warden in the electric chair and tapes his own hand to the switch that activates it. Frank makes it clear that if the guards shoot him, the switch will be triggered, resulting in Drumbull's electrocution. Faced with the imminent threat of death, Drumbull ultimately confesses that he orchestrated everything to prolong Frank's sentence. Although Frank pulls the switch, nothing occurs as he had previously removed a fuse, revealing that he only sought the confession. Meissner arrests Frank but also takes Drumbull into custody for his misconduct. The inquiry subsequently confirms Drumbull's corruption, allowing Frank to serve only the original time mandated for his sentence. Weeks later, Frank is released from Gateway Prison. As he exits, many inmates cheer for him, and Captain Meissner personally accompanies him to the gate. In a light-hearted moment, Frank remarks that he will miss the captain's smile. Please share your thoughts on what you have learned from this story in the comments below.
Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new to our channel. You can support us by sending a gift or super thanks. We love you.